Hello children, here is the solution for all the questions which was given in the book back. So I'll just go through the questions so that it will be easier to learn. So this is the question answers which is given in the Gopal and the Hills Office. Question number 1. Why did the king want no more talk about the Hills Office? So yeah, we all know about the story very well because it's a season of Hills Office. So everybody was going on talking about the Hills Office, and the king was very irritated by this. So he wanted to stop that talking about the fish, isn't it? So here is the answer given for you. So during the season of Hills Office, everybody talk about the fish. The king was fed up, so he did not want to talk about the fish. So this is question number 1. Now next question is about question number 2. What did the king ask Gopal to do to prove that he was clever? So here what did the king was asking Gopal to prove, that is of nobody should, while he was bringing the Hills Office to the kingdom, that is of the palace, nobody should talk about it. So this was the king need Gopal to prove it that he was clever. So here is the answer given for you, that is of Gopal could stop everyone from talking about Hills Office for 5 minutes. So this was happened there. Then the third question is of what are the 3 things did Gopal do before he went to buy his Hills Office? So what are the 3 things he did? First, what he did, Gopal covered his half face. He smeared his face with ash, and then he wore disgraceful rags on. That means first he shaved, isn't it? So he shaved half of his beard. So here it was given, Gopal covered his face, half face, and he smeared his face with ash. So after that he smeared the face with the ash, and then he wore the torn dress. Like that also you can write it. Okay, so these are the 3 things Gopal done before he went to get the Hills Office. Then the 4th question is about how did Gopal get inside the palace to see the king after he had bought the fish. So on reaching the palace, he behaved like a madman. He began to sing and dance loudly. So the people took him crazy and forced him to present before the king in the palace. So here what he did, he behaved like somewhat like he was an abnormal man, isn't it? So he behaved like a madman, and he was going on dancing and singing. And so the people, what they did, so he was looking crazy, and everyone forced him to and they took him to the king to the palace. So this was the main answer. That is about how did Gopal get inside the palace to see the king after he had bought the fish. So on reaching the palace, he behaved like a madman. He began to sing and dance loudly. So the people took him crazy and forced him to present before the king in the palace. Then the 5th question is about explain why no one seemed to be interested in talking about the Hills Office which Gopal had bought. So why no other people was not talking about this? Because Gopal was ill-dressed and behaved in a crazy way. So we all know about the story that he was looking different. So everyone was just looking after that particular man, but no one sees to the fish he was taking in his hand, right? So everyone took him mad. So no one seemed to talk about the Hills Office he had bought. So moreover, they thought that Gopal has lost his mind. So this is the answer for this particular question. Then the next question is about the next lesson, that is about the tree lesson. I don't know that the tree lesson it was given here. So the old farmer is a kind person. So we all have read that story, isn't it? So what evidence of his kindness do you find in the first 2 paragraphs? So here is the first 2 paragraphs. What you have to do is first you read the 2 paragraphs and find it out what is the thing, what is the evidence given that the old farmer was very kind here. So the old farmer is a kind person. He has a pet dog having no children. He loves it as if it were his own son. So he is having a pet dog, and he doesn't have the children, so he was loving that particular dog as a son, wasn't it? So the old couple used to feed him with tidbits of fish from their own. So they'll be using to feed him with the tidbits of fish from their own chopsticks, it seems. So they'll be feeding it. So this is very so kind, no? You also will be having your pet animals in your home, so you will sometimes feed your pets, isn't it? So same like that, this 2 paragraph shows that the particular farmer was very kind. He was very kind even to the dog. Then the next question is about what did the dog do to lead the farmer to the hidden gold. So here the dog tried to take him to some spot. So here we all know the dog does something, right? So moving here and there, and you want to show that particular spot. Which one? The dog wants to show the particular spot. So he kept on running for some times. The old man followed his pet dog. At one place, the dog started scratching the earth. So scratching means digging the earth. So that the old man dug the earth and found a pile of gold gleaming before him. Gleaming means what? It's like glooming, right? Glooming, you all know, no? So here is the answer for this particular question. So what did the dog do to lead the farmer to the hidden gold? So first what he did, he was going on, he wanted to show the spot, so he was going on running here and there for a few minutes, and that the old man was following that particular dog. At once he stopped at particular place and he was started digging. So that the old man, when he dug the earth, and he found a pile of gold gleaming before him. Then the third question is about how did the spirit of the dog help the farmer first. So here the dog's spirit asked his master to cut down the pine tree over his grave to make mortar for his rice pastry and a mill for bean sauce. So the old couple made the dough ready for baking. As soon as he started pouring it, it turned into a heap of gold coins. So here the dog spirit was working over here. So what happened? So here the dog spirit, what he was asking is, he is asking the master to cut down the pine tree over his grave. Grave means where it was buried, okay? So to make mortar for his rice pastry. So to make that mortar into a rice pastry and a mill for bean sauce. So here what they did, the old couple made a duff. Duff means you all know, no? For the chapati and all, we'll make the duff, no? So you were to ready to cook it, to bake it. So as soon as he started pouring it, it turned into a heap of gold coins. So if you read the question, story means you will get into it. Then how did it help him next? So at the same time, how did it help next? That is about the dog spirit told the master how the wicked neighbors have burned the mill made from the pine tree. So he suggested him to take the ash and sprinkle it on the withered trees, so it would make them glue, so it would make them bloom. So here the dog is giving another idea to make how the neighbors, how they burned that. So here the dog spirit is telling that master how the wicked neighbors have burned the mill made from the pine tree, and he suggested him to take the ash and sprinkle it on the withered trees, so it would make them bloom. Then the next question is about fourth one. Why did the daimyo reward the farmer but punish his neighbor for the same act? So here what happened? Why did the daimyo reward the farmer but punish his neighbor for the same act? What happened? So the old farmer scattered a pinch of ashes over the tree. It burst into blossom. So the daimyo was pleased to see and ordered some reward of silk cloths, cakes, etc. to the farmer. But on the other hand, the greedy neighbor sprinkled handful of ashes. The wind blew it and straight went into the eyes of the daimyo and his eyes. So he got angry. He ordered to punish the wicked man to death. So here with the dog's idea, so here the old farmer, what he did is scattered a pinch of ashes over the tree. So what happened? It burst into blossom. Blossom means the tree becomes to give the flowers. But so that the daimyo was so pleased to see the particular flowers in the tree, isn't it? And ordered some reward, like what are the rewards he gave? Silk clothes, cake to the farmer. But at the same time, what did this wicked neighbor did? He sprinkled a handful of ashes, and when the wind blows, the ash it straightly went into the eyes of Daimya and to his wife's eyes. So what will happen when anyone was sprinkling the sand over you and the sand was getting inside your eyes? So what will happen? You will get angry, right? Like that, Daimyo also got angry and he ordered to punish the wicked men to death. Then the next lesson is of fire, friend and foe. So here is the question answer. So what do you understand by the flash point of a fuel? So this is the point given in the lesson. So here you can see every fuel has a particular temperature. So here you all know every fuel has a particular temperature. So that temperature at which it begins to burn is called the flash point of a fuel. Then what are some common uses of fire? So in what sense is it a bad master? So we all know fire is commonly used to cook our food, warm our house in winter. So for example, it was warmer homes in winter. It maybe happened in Ooty, Kodaikanal and some other countries like cold regions, right? And to generate electricity. So we all have learnt in science that how the fire has been giving the, for example, thermal power station, we can get into it, right? So it is also a bad master because if it gets out of control, then it burns the things when it engulfs. That means whatever the things which was around us, it will burn. It doesn't know what happens, right? It doesn't know what it should do because it is a fire. So two things, what are the common uses of fire? It is of, we can use a fire commonly to cook the food, to warm our homes in winter, and to generate electricity. And how can we say that it was a bad master? Because it is a bad master. If it gets out of control, then it burns the things which it engulfs. Okay. Then the next question is about the match the following. So you can see this is the question given here and the answer was given down. So fuel is out. You can cook it because with the coal, wood, cooking gas, and you can see oxygen, air and heat. How you get the heat? By lighting the matchstick or burning the coal or smoldering the paper. So these are the things will happen when this will happen here. So the next, if you want, you can learn this match the following. Then the question answer is about the fourth one. What are the three main ways in which a fire can be controlled or put out? So how it can be controlled? So we learn three ways, isn't it? So three things are needed to make fire: fuel, oxygen and heat, isn't it? So the first, as three things are needed to start a fire. So for example, we need to start a fire means all these three things are needed. What are the things? Fuel, oxygen and heat. So there are three main ways in which a fire can be put out. How in each one of the three things needed for burning is taken away. For example, we can take away the fuel. If the fire has no fuel to feed on, no burning can take place. So that is the first thing. So if you're going on pouring the kerosene to burn, means if you stop pouring the kerosene, what will happen? The burning will stop. Then the second way of putting out a fire is to prevent oxygen from reaching it. So if you want to stop the fire from oxygen, means what you can do is no supply of oxygen means no fire. That means you have to stop the air which was getting into the fire. So when we stop the air, automatically, for example, if you burn a candle, if it is air surrounded by it, means what will happen? The candle will be burning out. When you dump it with the glass over the candle, burning candle, means what will happen? Within a few seconds it will put off, isn't it? Yes. So this shows that it is an example that when it want to burn, it needs the oxygen. Then the third the third way is to remove the heat. If the temperature can be brought down below the flash point, the fuel will stop burning. So how will you remove the heat? By boring some water or something else. So you can do these three ways to stop the fire. Then the next question is about, the question has been given for you. Then here the answer has been given for you. So to burn paper or a piece of wood, we heat it before it catches fire, isn't it? Then small fires can be put out. How? With the damp blanket. Then when water is spread on fire, it absorbs heat from the burning material and lowers the temperature. Then a carbon dioxide extinguisher is the best thing to put out an electrical fire. Space left between buildings reduces the risk of fire. So then the next question is why does a burning candle go out when you blow on it? So when we blow on a burning candle, we remove the hot air around the flame. So this causes fall in temperature below the flash point. So the candle goes out. So I told you an example before in the previous question. So the next question is about spraying water is not a good way of putting out an oil fire on an electrical fire. Why not? So for example, if water is sprayed onto an oil fire, the oil will float on the top and continue to burn, isn't it? So water can carry oil with it and continue to burn. So water should also not to be used on fires caused by electrical appliances. So the person might get an electric shock and can be killed, isn't it? So here we all know the spraying water, that is about while we are spraying the water, the oil which was filled in the thing will float and it will continue to burn, isn't it? So here what we need to do, so you have to, for example, before you are spraying the water, you should not you should check whether the electrical appliances are all off, that all the current are all off. You have to check it. Then the 8th question is about what are some of the things you should do to prevent a fire at home and in the school. So we all know at home we can prevent the fire if all the electrical appliances are earthed and insulated. So we have to check. Then there should always be a bucket of sand to put out and small fires. In the school, the training should be given to the students how to put out the fire, and the school should also have the fire extinguishers which should always be ready for you. So we all know about it. So in school we have seen, wherever we go, we have seen this fire extinguisher, and main point is all the children also should get the training to put out the fire, it seems. So in a house you should check whether the electrical appliances are insulated correctly, and you have to keep the bucket of sand nearby your home. Okay, so these are the things. The next question comes from the story of cricket lesson. So now just see the question number 1. Name some stick and ball games that you have witnessed or heard of. These are what are there: hockey, polo, billiards, and some of such games I have seen or heard of. So you may write whatever games you can write it, you can include it. Then the Parsis were the first Indian community to take the cricket. Why? So because the Parsis, because of their interest in trade, had close contact with the Britishers. So here they were first to be westernized. They were therefore the first to be attracted towards the cricket. So who was attracted by the cricket was Parsis, because they were the main contact which had by the Britishers, isn't it? So they become the westernized, and they were attracted by this cricket. Then the rivalry between the Parsis and the Bombay Gymkhana had a happy ending for the former. What does a happy ending refers to? Here the happy ending refers to the defeat of Bombay Gymkhana by a Parsi club. The Parsi club won the test match in 1889. Then do you think cricket owes its present popularity to television? Justify your answer. So there is no doubt that television had made great contribution towards the popularizing the cricket. So you all know so many cricket lovers are there in our classrooms, right? So television coverage increased the audience into the small towns and villages. So it gives the coverage to all over the towns and villages. So it also help people watch their heroes while playing national and international cricket. So each one loves your batsman, bowler, isn't it? So here the next question: why has cricket a large viewership in India, not in China or Russia? So in India, we can see so many of them are cricket lovers. Why it was not in China and Russia? So we'll think about it. So I think mostly the countries who remained under British colonial rule plays cricket. So India is one of the oldest cricket playing nations. So it is the second largest populated country after China. So the first is the populated country is about China, and after that India. So here the most of the people love to play cricket and love to watch cricket. So people here are very crazy for cricket. So it is the largest market for the cricketing world. Then the next question is about what do you understand by the game, that is about cricket equipment. So the cricket equipment refers to the bat made of leather, twine and cork. So the equipment like bat and ball are even today handmade, isn't it? So the next question is about how is Test cricket a unique game in many ways. So you all know about these things, right? The Test cricket can be played in 5 days and still end in a draw. So no other game can take more than a day. Secondly, the dimensions of the cricket ground is not specified. So it can vary from a circular to an oval shape. So you can see every game can be played one day, but here this Test cricket can be played about 5 days, isn't it? And it will be ending in a draw. So secondly, the dimensions of the cricket ground is not specified. It can vary from a circular to an oval shape. So it can be varied, doesn't it? Then the next question is about how is cricket different from other team games. So cricket is the only game which can be played for 5 days. A football match is generally over in an hour and a half. So even baseball completes 9 innings in about a half a day. So moreover, unlike other teams, the dimensions of the cricket ground are not specified. Then how advances in technology affected the game of cricket. So first of all, because of advancement in technology, there was a change in equipments. The inventions of vulcanized rubber, these are all changed. For example, the ball has been changed as vulcanized rubber, led to the introduction of pads and gloves. Then light helmets usually worn now. The cricket players, they'll be wearing the light helmets, isn't it? So, or also because of modern technology. Then secondly, satellite television technology made the game very popular so that each and every towns and cities can watch it. So it could now be watched in every city, towns and villages. So we can watch both national and international cricket matches throughout by watching television. Then the next question is about explain how cricket changed with changing times and yet remained unchanged in some ways. Is about a lot of changes have occurred in the game of cricket. Now the meta player means the cricket player have been replaced by paid professionals, isn't it? So one day international have become more popular. The technology has also brought a great change. So but the roots remain true to the origin in rural England. So cricket's most important equipments are still handmade. So we all know that. However, the protective equipments have been influenced by change and by the advancement in technology. And the next question is from the first lesson. I taught you the 3 questions. I have just attached in the PDF so that it will be easier to learn all the question answers. So I'll post this in your Google Classroom. Just go through it. If you have any doubts, you can check it up by the explanation which I have given by me. and learn these questions alone which is given in the book. No need to learn all the one words which are given like fill ups or choose or grammar part, whatever else. You need not to learn about it. Just learn only these question answers. So for the first terminal exam, we can see the book exercise and all. Okay, so just learn these question answers alone from the book. Thank you, dear children.